desert. After which he was tempted. He was gaining strength, he was gaining courage to undertake his great mission of living his life for other people and to laying down his life for people through his passion, death and resurrection. So Jesus, when he advised his disciples about fasting, he said, when you fast, do not look gloomy, do not look very sad, put on oil on your head, wash your face, look cheerful, because do not look gloomy. He was thinking about the Pharisees, the scribes, the religious leaders of his time in Jewish religion, who made a big show of their religiosity. In fact, the 2 days they were fasting in a week were the market days in Jerusalem. And they used to go around putting ashes on their face, and they would wear very tattered clothes and disheveled hair, so that people could look at them and know that they are fasting. Jesus was not impressed, because it was a show of religiosity than a practice of religion. So he insisted that the fast should be within your heart, your religiosity should be within your heart. Do not display for show, and he called that hypocrisy. So this is very, very important. Every religion insists something, that religious transformation should come from within the heart. It should purify us from within. It is not something that is external. It will have its effect. Certainly when we fast, we may look very sad. I know of students in our college, I was in college, people whose lips are very dry, they haven't drank any water, not taken any food. By evening we can make out, they are looking very weak. And yet we know that the inner transformation that is a result of the fast is something that is building them up, is giving them strength, it is making them much more resolute in their faith. And that is what happens when we fast. So Jesus did not say whether you should fast or not, because fasting is not prescribed as a compulsory observation. But he said, when you fast, do like this. By which it was clear that when you fast meant that you have to undertake fast. But it was not prescribed as on particular days or particular time. And there is a lot of liberty to choose one's own time and occasion, and even the period of time prescribed for fasting is to be decided by oneself and not so much as prescribed by law, by imposition. It should come as a self-imposition, and that is one of the important things about the Christian fasting. The other aspect is that fasting and prayer are always considered together. Fasting is not separate from prayer. We fast, therefore we have a more possibility to be turned towards God, to be attuned towards listening to God's word through the scriptures, to be able to listen to God speaking to us, because when we fast, we are able to focus a lot more attention on God. As we are aware, today we live in a very consumeristic world, where people are constantly thinking about consumerism. If you watch the cricket matches, as young people, I am sure you do watch cricket matches, the cricket players are constantly chewing gum or something, maybe to get rid of tension. People are constantly smoking, not because they want to smoke, but it has become a kind of passion. They keep doing things, and the companies, multinational companies, are trying to market products from potato chips to soft drinks. They try to encourage as much as possible for people to consume. And most of the products advertised are directed towards young people, because it is easy to get them to take things, to make this into a habit. And with the television and the consumables that people constantly buy, the kids who are eating the chips and other things, they are constantly promoting consumer values. And we have the problem of overweight and people going to diet, going to the gym, going to get rid of their fat. A lot of products are advertised on how to have a flat stomach. Yesterday I got an SMS, do you want to have a flat stomach? I already have one. So you have constantly people advertising. First things are advertising things, how to increase your calories, and then the rest of the time is how to get rid of these calories. This is not the attitude that we have in religious approach. It is not because we want to to reduce our weight so that we may be healthy, or we may want to look slim, look beautiful, look attractive. That's not the reason for any. I don't think any religion advocates fasting from this perspective. Fasting is prescribed because we come closer to God. We begin to experience God in a more powerful way. We take control of our life. We are living in a world today where people are just living in a very permissive society, where their own instincts are not controlled. And that is the reason why violence is increasing, sexual immoralities are increasing. Because of addiction, many young people take to drug addiction. Sometimes they just start by experimenting. Their friends just tell you, try this. And then after that this becomes habit. I know I come from Northeast India, where this is very, very common because we are very close to the Golden Triangle, which is marketing the biggest amount of drugs. And that's the route. Very often drug mafias are operating. And young people become very easy victims of this. They are good people. It's not that they are choosing to do something that is evil, but by circumstances they fall in this type of habits, which is very difficult to kick afterwards. And therefore, by fasting, we are actually denying something that we really deserve, something that really belongs. In our teachings, food is considered as something very important value. In all Middle East cultures, and as well as in India, whenever somebody comes, we go to someone's house, they offer water, they offer food, even to strangers. Every religion advocates this type of hospitality. So it's a sign of welcome, of hospitality, of friendship, having a meal together, of sharing. There are a lot of values. Therefore, when we deny food, we are not denying something that is really as food because it is bad. But it is a denial to ourselves because even something that is good we are denying in order to achieve something that is greater good, a greater good. Therefore, we do not, like in the Catholic priesthood, we do not marry. Sometimes people ask, do you not marry because marriage is bad? No. Marriage is a sacrament in our church. Marriage is something very noble. But we renounce marriage. That is, marriage which is good is renounced in order to do something greater good. To be free, to serve the people more wholeheartedly, to love everybody as my brother and sister, my children, so that we renounce the right of having our own children, our own family. Similarly, we renounce food that is our legitimate right, food that is created by God, food that is a good value for our own bodily nourishment. We renounce that, not because food is bad, but because we want to achieve something that is greater than that. The greater good will always demand that we sacrifice something that is good. That is what we do ordinarily in our life, in our everyday practice. When we go to the market to buy something, we have 2 or 3 things to purchase, but we buy the things that we most require. And we sacrifice something. We are constantly making sacrifices. Similarly, in our fasting, we are renouncing something that is very legitimate, something that is very good, but in order to achieve something that is greater. There are different types of fasting in the Bible that is advocated. That is Christian fasting, which is motivated not so much by pleasing God, but it is also as a result of our fellowship, of worship, and not merely for physical requirements, but to have a psychological discipline. And the fasting that is advocated, different types of fasting is there. There's a normal fast which may be taken for one day, from sunset of one day to sunset of the next day. That is advocated in the Bible. But we have other type of fasting which is more rigorous. That is like 40 days fasting that Jesus did, Moses and the other prophets in the Bible did. A type of long-term fasting which was more rigorous. But we accept food as a means also of worship. Food is offered in worship, and we receive food in thanksgiving. In fact, the breaking of the fast also, I think in